you now want a story?
Yeah.
Do you want a story?
Yeah.
Do you want a really gory, bloody, and inappropriate story?
Yeah.
That's the right place. Okay! Have a wee cup of tea. Oh, that's what gets me nervous. We'll do a wee short story, and then he's going on a break, speak down your therapist, and then we'll do the big, long, scary story. Now, should we finish about 25 past 9, then stay a while, because the music will be coming in. Alright. So this is one of these little stories. It's just a wee quirky thing, but it's kind of a curious wee story. I don't even know it's a story, it's just kind of a wee quirky thing. And basically, come away in, it's about a young boy. Is there any young boys in the audience? No! Or girls, or young persons, or anybody. I'm going to shut up now. Hello? Okay. So, alright. A long time ago, a long time ago, there was a family, and they lived in the countryside, like a lot of families did. And there was a mammy and a daddy. Have a wee snooze, it's alright, did you? We'll wake you up in a minute. There was a mammy, and there was a daddy, and there was a wee girl, so there was a daughter. And then after a while, they had another child, was a wee boy. And they called the wee boy Devlin, if I remember correctly. Devlin, okay, he was named after his mother's second cousin's dog or something, okay. They really liked the dog. So Devlin was his name. And you know that when babies are born, and I don't want any babies born tonight or as a result of tonight, but babies are born, people say the weirdest shit, and then it sticks to the baby. And so this baby was born, and was just doing this wee baby thing with a twisted face. And people would come round and poking it and giving it money and all that kind of stuff. But the thing with the baby is it had big, fat, strong legs. And folk were going, would you look at the legs on that baby? It's got fine legs, and clever too. Clever legs. You know this from Donegal, you know exactly. This is a phrase, I don't know where it comes from. But anyway, this child, fine legs, and clever too, right? Okay. So he had fine and clever legs. And the thing was, this kind of name stuck me with the fine and the clever legs. And it almost became like true. Because when the wee boy was growing up, he was doing his toddler thing. When you're a toddler, when you toddle, okay. Also toddle when you're drunk, but when you're in practice, being an alcoholic when you're a child. And so he was toddling about. And the family, there was a kind of coastline there, and then the kind of farmland there. And sometimes he would kind of toddle down to the beach. But the water, sometimes the current in the water, I don't know if he would splash his feet, sometimes the current would be changing, the tide would be dangerous. And his legs would know this. And he'd be going, hey, but the legs would walk him away because they were clever legs. They were fine legs and clever too. And other times it'd be rain, because sometimes it rains in Ireland and Scotland, sometimes it rains. And the rain would be going for days and days and days and days. And then the field would be full of mud. And the wee boy would want to go after the rain, would go out and play in the mud. But of course the mud was so deep it would swallow him up. And his legs would not take him to the field, the legs would take him away. Because they were fine legs and clever too. God knows how. So that was his legs. And he got stronger and stronger. His legs stretched and he got bigger and bigger. And everything was fine. But the problem with Devlin, not a problem. Devlin was just like a normal lad, okay? He was a normal lad, and he was kind of done all his wee quirky things, and as he got bigger and bigger, he would look to the kind of out beyond the farm, you know, and way beyond the distance, about 5 miles away, there was kind of soft hills, and we see these are soft hills with dips between them. And he wanted to go to those hills. And of course, he had strong legs on him, he knew he could get to them, 5 miles there, 5 miles back, no problem. But his mammy would say to him, don't go to the house. It's too far away, you get lost. And he goes, Mammy, how can I get lost? I can see them, they're just there, they're going a straight line, and I come back, and it'll be fine. And I said, no, don't go there. Okay, Mammy. I get a wee bit older again, and he still wants to go to the don't go to the house. And his mammy says, you can't go to the house. You might fall down and hurt yourself, and we wouldn't know, and it would be a disaster. But he was still really tempted. Sometimes she would see him starting to walk, and she would drag him back. Eventually she said something to him. She sat him down with a serious mammy face on her. She said, Devlin, I have to tell you, do not go to those hills. Never go to them. Because the hills belong to the fairies. And you know about the fairies, don't you, Devlin? Devlin went, oh yes, mammy, the fairies. You don't think they're drinking, don't touch their food, you don't listen to their music because they're really dangerous, you don't get anywhere near them, and I'm only 5, but I've heard it all and I'm never going to go there ever. And I said, that's right, fairies are dangerous, but some are nice, aren't they? Well, some of them can be nice, but they're tricky. Do not go to the hill, because particularly those hills there, the fairies there snatch children, and they take them away, and you'll never see your mammy, or your daddy, or your big sister ever again. Traumatized is the way. Teach children through trauma. It really works. It works for me. So that he kind of kept away from the house. He kept playing around just the farm. But the other thing he had is an awful passion. And again, this is what we people have. An awful passion for rubbish. Oh, I was out in the bin and pulling out things, or there was a wee ditch beside the farm, jumping out, and he'd find like a sheep bone, and he'd come in the house, Mommy, it's a human being's bone and there's cannibals! Okay. And he's very excited, and he'd find like a wee coin or something, and go, Mommy, a coin, there's treasure, there's pirates, and there must be murderers, Mommy, because if there's pirates, there's murderers. She'd go, okay, but really, don't go in the bins, don't go in the ditch. Why not, Mammy? And his Mammy tried to explain. She said, well, you know what? There's things called bacteria, called germs. Okay, germs are bacteria. And they're always there, and you get bacteria in your belly, and it kind of looks after you, but there's bad bacteria that make you sick. Don't go in there. Are they as bad as the fairies? Oh, they're worse. Okay, more trauma for the child. Okay. So this went on in between him and the legs, letting him not drown and letting him not be sucked into the mud and becoming bigger and healthy. Okay. We haven't actually started the story yet, I've just set the scene. Okay. So, alright. This is where it gets weird. So the mammy and the daddy and the big sister and himself, they all worked very hard. And the boy it was a day before his 10th birthday, okay? He was just almost 10 years of age. And on this one particular day of all the days, his family were all away. His father was away doing a bit of labouring, his mum and his sister were away selling eggs and milk down the village. He was in the house himself. He had a wee list of chores to do, he was going to get through the chores, and he was going to work away there, and he was excited, the next day he was going to be 10, and everything was fine. So he was trying to work away, he was trying to do the mature thing, but you know, he's working away, and he's looking out the window, and in the distance, he can see those hills. Okay? The hills are only 5 miles away, and he knows he's got fine, strong, and clever legs. He knows he can get to the hills, get back, nobody would ever know. Would that be a good idea? Well, he's looking, and there's part of him, there's a wee boy in him, that's thinking, there's fairies there, and they're a bit scary, but it's fairies, and I really want to see fairies. And the other part of him, that's going to be a teenager, sounds like, talk to the hand. There's no such thing as fairies. Fairies are stupid. I'm going to go to the hill and prove there's no fairies. So these kind of two conflicting emotions, and they were building up, and the end point was, I'm going to go to the hill! So he packed a bag. He got a wee bottle for the water, got a stopper in it, an apple, got some cheese, some bread, got a wee bag together. And he headed out. He was going to walk 5 miles, go up the hill, look over the hill, come back, and be back before anybody knew it, okay? So he set out, and he's walking with the big, fine, strong, and clever legs on him. They're walking, and he's just kind of looking about, and he's quite happy. He's almost 10, he's quite happy, and it's a hot day, it's a lovely summer's day, birds are twittering, the sun's blazing, and he's very happy out. And he's walking along, but it's a longer walk than he thought, because the heat, oh my goodness, the heat was like a hammer, the heat. He was starting to get a bit sweaty on it, but he kept walking because the legs were strong. He finally gets to the hill. He starts going up the hill, and he's kind of halfway up the hill. Oh, and he has to sit down in the heat. Oh my goodness, he's so hot and he's so tired. So he gets out his water and he drinks the entire bottle of water. And then he's thinking, I can't get up that hill, but his legs are twitching, they'll take him up. So the legs take him up a wee bit more. 3/4 of the way up the hill now. He's hungry. Eats all his food. He gets one last boost of energy and it takes him all the way to the top of the hill. And he got to the top of the hill and he was tired and there was sweat in his eyes and he kind of pushed the sweat aside and he looked about and he went, oh, 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 wow, oh my goodness, he was so excited. Oh my goodness, it was the most amazing thing he'd ever seen. He was at the top of the hill and oh my goodness, what wonders did he see? He was standing there and there's the hill, there's another wee hill there, there's like a wee dip, there a wee kind of valley, and he's looking in the valley, and from one end of the valley all the way to the others, oh my God, it's a child's paradise. It was full of rubbish. Oh my God, there was all sorts of crap. There was a dead cow there was a tractor, there was a couch, there was things dripping and poking out, and the smell, it was like, oh, warm vomit and all carrot and manky socks all mixed together. It was enough to kill an elephant. There was an elephant there as well. It was enough to kill an elephant, but to him, that smell, it was like a bouquet that a prince would give to a princess. Okay? It was the most wonderful smell because it smelled of rubbish and decay and all sorts of wonderful things. And he ran down the hill, yay! The legs on him, yay! And the rats, there's lots of rats there, and the flies, they're kind of going, huh, okay, and they're kind of making way for him, and he's running about. And it was the most amazing thing. He's running about, he doesn't know where to stop. He's like, oh my goodness. And he sees the big dead cow with its swollen belly. He bounces on his belly. Oh! And it farts! Oh, fantastic! He jumps there and then he's going, oh my goodness. And he sees more bones. There's more bones. This is fantastic. And there's piles of rubbish. There's rubbish, like towers of rubbish. So he clambers up the tower and he's standing on the top like Gandalf. He's like, he's looking at all the rubbish and the broken couches and bodies and dripping things. He's thinking, I can wave a spell here and turn it all to gold and jewellery. But I'm not going to bother because I'll do it later. And there's another tower there, so he jumps to that tower. Oh, that's a sugary tower, it's a bit sugary. But he's found the sugariness because it's like, oh my goodness, his imagination, he's like, he can remember all the tales his father told him of the fisher folk out in the Atlantic and the giant waves. He's like, oh, I'm going to catch a whale. And he's having a great time. He's jumping down again. He's having the most amazing time. Having those broken bottles and there's springs sticking out of things and there's boxes with fingers hanging out of them and things dripping up and down and God knows there might be a serial killer hiding things in there. There was just everything you could imagine was in this whole valley. Rubbish everywhere and flies and rats. He was having a wonderful time. But the problem was, he was having a wonderful time, but his belly started to gurgle a wee bit. I was thinking, yeah. Okay, speed dial therapist now. His belly's gurgling a wee bit. Oh, I'm hungry. And he's starting to get kind of sweats on him as well. And something's going wrong with his body. But he's not quite 10 yet. He's still running about having fun and jumping up on the dead cow again. And having a great time. But he's starting to feel a wee bit nauseous. Okay? And the problem was, this wonderful place, it was full of invisible things. Not the fairies, something worse. It was full of those germs, those bacteria. And the bacteria were everywhere. The bacteria, they were on the drippy things, they were in the broken bottles and the broken glasses, they were hanging out on the cow, the cow's farts. They were kind of hiding in the rat's fur. And the bacteria, all the flies, the bacteria was sitting on the backs of the flies and they were flying around going, yay, woo-hoo-hoo. Bacteria was having a great time, okay? And the bacteria, when he's breathing in and he's going, yay, the bacteria is going up his nose. And into his mouth, and down into his gut, okay? And so he's getting nauseous because the good bacteria in your belly, because he has a belly, I prepared earlier, the good bacteria in your belly fights the bad bacteria, and you get a bit queasy, just fighting away. And the thing was, the good bacteria, they would have won the war. However, it wasn't just the bacteria up his nose and his mouth, it had scratches on him. Scratches and cuts from jumping about, and it was battalions of bacteria pushing in under his skin and making their way in as well, and suddenly he was filled with bacteria. Oh, and he was getting sicker and sicker, and yes, he did. He goes, ah! And he collapsed, and he was getting himself up again. Oh, he was feeling very nauseous, and bad things were happening. He was starting to feel a bit cold. He was thinking, oh my goodness, and he was shaking. He was getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and he gets so sick that he collapsed. I'm going to take a cup of tea with you there. How you doing? Well, a couple hours later, his mammy found him, okay? She did. She found him in the field. Somehow, those great, strong, clever legs had somehow managed to get him up the hill, down the other side, tried to get him home, but he collapsed in the field. But his mammy found him in the field. And she looked at all the scratches on him. But this time he was starting to turn blue in bits and purple in bits, and his eyes were swelling. Oh, she said, oh dear goodness, he's been amongst the rubbish and the germs. She picked him up and she took him home. This is going to be very emotional now, okay? You're definitely going to need hugs for the next part of the story. She takes him home, and his big sister's there. She's about 12 or 13. And the mammy says, okay, go to the next farm. They've got a telephone, get him to phone a doctor. Boy's not well, Devon's not well. So they get a doctor. And of course, the doctor, it's, you know, there's no Ubers or anything. He takes a while, he comes up with his horse and his cart. It's evening by the time the doctor arrives, okay? It's night time. You look like traumatized already. Hog person. Hog person. It's evening by the time the doctor arrives. By the time the doctor arrives, poor wee Devlin, he's kind of lying there on the couch, and his skin's turned black. His fingernails have fallen off. He's kind of shaking away there. And the doctor looks at him, and the doctor goes, whoa! And I'm telling you now, if a doctor looks at you and goes, whoa! This is not a good sign. This is a subtle doctor hint. The doctor goes, whoa! And the mammy picks this up. She picks up the salt hint there. She goes, is it bad? He's like, is there anything we can do? And the doctor thinks for a minute. And he thinks, yes. He says, well, he says, you could try prayers. Prayers! Aye, prayers and maybe an amputation or two. We can chop off some of the really infected bits, and that might help him as well. And the mammy goes, prayers and amputation? Aye, says the doctor. I'm a doctor. I'm not talking about get a priest to do the prayers, and I'll do the chopping. No problem. So the wee girl is sent out. She's going to go and get the priest. And the father is like, okay. He's sitting in the back shed. He brings out his tools. He opens it up. He says, will this help? And the doctor looks in, and there's a rusty saw there. And there's an axe. And there's a couple of chisels. It's like, that'll definitely work. I think what we'll do is we'll chop the legs off him, because they get the most scratches. So I think if we get rid of the legs, then we'll get rid of most of the poison and the poisonous blood, and he will recover. And the mammy goes, you sure? The prayers will help though. So, but get a priest. They have to bribe the priest with whiskey, because that's what he has. The priest comes, he sits in the corner with whiskey, and they get things ready, okay? Basically, poor Devlin, he doesn't know what's happening. He's kind of away in a dwam there. They tie him to the kitchen table, okay? The doctor takes off his jacket, he gets towels and wraps the towels around him, because he doesn't want to get his nice clothes messy, okay? They've got a bucket there to put the legs in when the legs come off. And the mammy and the girl, they're kind of stripping bits of bed sheets to make kind of cloth and stuff. The doctor says, oh, you need to put the iron on. Put the iron on the stove. We're going to need the iron as well. Okay. So they put the iron on the stove just to heat up. And so they get it all ready. And what else do we need? That's fine. We need some. We've got the blankets. We've got bandages. We've got the iron on. We've got the saw. We've got an axe. We've got a couple of chisels. Fine. Let's do it. Well, we do it. Yeah, do it. Are you sure? So they did it. I'm not going to go into it in full detail, but I'm just going to say, for those who haven't chopped off limbs, It's tough work, okay? It really is. It's like the poor doctor. Oh, he looked at Arthur Sweatland. Girls, what are you laughing at? This is emotional. He starts sawing through. Somebody's going to have to give me the leg for a minute. He starts sawing through the leg. Like this. Here's the leg here. He starts going, and he's sawing through all the kind of the veins and the fat, it's not much fat, the muscles. And he comes to some veins, and the veins are tough and they're bouncy. The bloody saw's bouncing off the veins. Oh my! And he gets scissors. Oh, big pen. Shears will do. Okay, so he's cutting through the veins now, trying to get a bit of space there. Ah, thank you. And he's chopping away, he gets through the veins, and then he's down into the bone itself. So he's like, give me the saw. And the feels like, okay, here's the saw. You hold that bit of the leg, I'll hold this bit. Start sawing. And there's blood scoosing everywhere. It finally gets through the bone. But the bone is not completely through. It's still hanging on to a wee bit of bone. I need a chisel now. Get me the chisel. All right. So he's got a chisel. He's trying to get the last bit of bone. And getting heavy. A big pot, Mammy. Thank you. Big pot. Bang! And he smacked through the last bit of bone. And they've severed the leg. Oh, thank God it's the doctor. Now give me the big hot iron there. Fantastic. We're just going to suture the wound. There's a smell of burnt bacon. Something goes up. Gets the bandage on. Wraps him up. He said, thank God, that's the first leg. One more leg to go. So they now go to the second leg. The second leg, do you know what? They're in their stride now. It's like, oh, this is easy. Instagram. So. Chisel. Oh, no problem. Poof! Second leg off. No problem. Suture. Bacon's flavour, smell. And it's done. Finally, the two legs, the legs are put in the milk bucket there, the legs are put there. There's blood everywhere. It's very, very messy. Okay. And they're kind of there, and the priest by this point is just drank all the whiskey. He's just still blessing it. He's kind of away in another place. And they're looking, and poor Devlin, surprise, surprise, he's not really speaking or doing anything. He's very still. And the man looks and says, I think he might have died. And the doctor goes, let me just check. I'm a doctor! I'm a doctor, I know what I'm doing. And he kind of looked, kind of poked him a wee bit, and kind of listened. And just then, we did went, when he's alive! The boy's alive! And the man went, thank goodness. And they were looking at him, and do you know what? You know he was alive, but all that kind of weird colour had gone from his skin. He actually looked better. It had worked, they got the poison out of him. And the family's like, this is amazing. And the priest's going, this is a miracle. Glug, glug, glug. The doctor's like, oh, you fucking beauty! Yes! Wow! Wow! I'm a man! First time I've sawn off legs! First time I've ever it's worked! And look at that in my LinkedIn account. Saw leg! Oh! Calm down. Sorry. I'm just very impressed with myself. My walk was really good. I'm like, fine, grand. So it's all worked. That's the good part. It's worked. You can all be happy now. It worked. Devil's looking a wee bit. He's still kind of away, drifting away there. I think the priest's been giving him whiskey or something. So he's still drifting away, but he's looking a bit healthier. Okay. And I've got the legs in the bucket as well. So now the doctor says everything's grand, and he writes out the bill. He says, here's the bill for the night's work. And he gives the bill to the father. The father looks at the bill and he goes, what? What? That amount of money? But it was my saw and chisel and axes you used. I should be charging you. The doctor goes, no. I've charged you the least amount possible. Because I know you're going to have to spend a lot of money for a lot of years to look after Devlin. I know this. So I've charged you as little as I can. The father says, how do you mean a lot of money? The doctor writes down another figure, that amount. And the father goes, oh, you're joking. I'm not, you must be joking. I'm not paying you and I'm not paying for him. He grabs the doctor, he opens the door, and he throws the doctor out. The doctor lands in his arse in the field, and then smack beside him lands Devlin. The family shuts the door. Bang! The doctor picks Devlin up. He's still like this, with no legs on him. Takes him up, chaps the door. Oh, he says, this is ridiculous. You can't be throwing your legless son into a field. It's against the law. I'll get the guards to you and you'll be locked up forever. And the doctor's raging. And of course the family comes down. They can't be locked up for chopping off their legs. So they open the door and the mum said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We were just traumatised. We were traumatised. And we weren't thinking, right, of course we'll pay ye. No problem. And we'll look after Devlin. Do not worry. The doctor went, that's all right. That's fine. So we paid the doctor, save a wee bit extra for his work, you know. And the doctor went off and the priest went off as well with the bottle. So now they were back in the house. And I had to clean up the house. I had to wash all the walls and wash all the blankets and peel the bits of meat off the saw before keeping it back in the box. And they tied everything up. It took them all day. The wee dog's traumatised then. I took them all night, and finally the house was nice and clean. And it was coming up till dawn now. The first rays of the beautiful sunlight were coming. And of course the house was clean. And the wee girl, she's sleeping. And of course, Mommy and Daddy, they knew what they had to do. They got a big sack, they put Devlin in the sack, and they set out to the hill as the sun was rising. Up to the hill they went, and then poured them down into the rubbish. I could be happy there, says the Mommy. And the father says, we've got the legs anyway to remind us it's and the Mommy says, and you know the legs, they're such fine, strong and clever legs. So they went home and the sun rose and the Mommy and the Daddy and the sister and the two fine, strong legs, clever legs, lived happily ever after.